So welcome to session 3 of our Youth and Young Adult Leadership Program. Today you guys are going to learn the fundamentals of public speaking. So I just want to briefly introduce the presenter today, Mr. Kevin Booker Jr. Kevin Booker Jr. is the founder of the Booker Empowerment LLC and has been an educator for 15 years. He is committed to uplifting individuals who have been marginalized. Mr. Booker realized his passion for encouraging others who did not have a voice when he was 12 years old. Growing up in the city of Hartford allowed him to understand the importance of helping others and seeing full potential. Mr. Booker went on to achieve various degrees through the support of his family and strong mentors. He is now a teacher. He now teaches college and high school level classes, train men and women who have been sexually assaulted, facilitate leadership and diversity workshops and lectures. He is also a mentor and speaks publicly all over the country to encourage people to understand the power of education. Mr. Booker is currently a parent educator coordinator at Benny Dover Jackson Middle School in New London, Connecticut, and a public speaking learning specialist at Connecticut College in New London. He also served on the board of directors at Opportunity Industrialization Center, OIC, in New London, Connecticut, Boys and Girls Club in New London, Connecticut, and Hartford Job Corps Academy in Hartford, Connecticut. His motto is, "Be comfortable with being uncomfortable." Thank you. So we would like to call up Mr. Kevin Booker Jr.
Hi,
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm NAACP McCauley, and you're watching accesstv.org.
All right, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Buenos dias. Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
Bonjour. Bon dia. Ni hao. Memenjes. Dobre utro. Namaste. Sawadi. Chawim. Mananangumanga. That's Filipino. Como ye. Sopa wanansang. Assalamu alaikum. Oh, privet. Guten Tag. Calamara. And as they say in some neighborhoods, what's good? My name is Kevin Booker Jr. And first of all, the reason why I start off in all those different languages is because I grew up in the city of Hartford. And those are just giving respect and homage to all the different cultures that live within this city. I love this city. The city built me and made me who I am today. So before we begin, I always start my sessions off with dedicating this session to some of the pioneers who actually paved the way for all of us in this room. Now, who is Ruby Bridges?
One of the first black kids go to high school.
First black kid. What do we know about her? What did we learn about Ruby Bridges? You probably learned a little bit about her 3rd, 4th grade, maybe? No? Okay, from looking at this picture that you have in front of you right now, what are you taking from this picture that you see in front of you? And I put a quote down there because she was 6 years old. Who was Ruby Bridges? What are you taking from this picture right here? Now you gotta imagine, she's a little kid, she got her backpack every single day, right? She's coming in, she's 6 years old. What grade is she probably in at that time? First grade. She's in 1st grade. And she has no one around her. And you know what? Every day, for an entire year of school, people would spit at her. They would call her all kind of names. The white families pulled their children out of the schools. She was the only person to actually attend the school the entire year. And then she wouldn't go to the cafeteria because they would threaten and they would send messages to her parents and say, "We're gonna poison your daughter's food." So every day, and she's still alive. So this is not that long ago. She's still alive. She's only in her 60s. And every day, she would go to school when she was how old? 6. And she had courage and walked through people calling her N-words, go back to where you belong. You're not from this nation. You're not from here. All kinds of stuff. But she had what? Begins with a C. Courage. To step up to what she believed in. And Ruby Bridges, she would always say, I just want to go to school. I just want equal education. And I want everyone to be able to have an equal education. At 6 years old, she had the courage to believe in that. And that whole year, she stayed in that classroom with that teacher, right? And her mother made lunch for her every single day for an entire year. Because her mother and her father were afraid she was going to be what? Poisoned. But she was 6 years old. She had the courage, and she paved the way for a lot of us in here. But she lived by that motto. You have to be comfortable being what? Uncomfortable. That's what speaking is about. So a lot of times, right here, you see this box right here? Right? We're in this little box here, right? But a lot of times we say, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Right? I want to stay here. I'm comfortable here. But as a speaker, a lot of times, right? We're talking and we're vocalizing for people who don't have that opportunity to speak out. So a lot of times, what do we have to do? We have to do our Ruby Bridges, is what I call it. Let's get our Ruby Bridges on. You see where I'm coming from? We have to speak out for people who don't have a what? A voice. So we got to jump out, and we can't get comfortable here. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to have fun today. We're going to have fun. Because speaking is about having fun and stepping out of our comfort zone. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. So this session is dedicated to who? Ruby Bridges. But she was younger than all of you in this room. And how old is she? Still alive? Yes. So was that a long time ago? No. And she's an able-bodied individual giving speeches at colleges all the time. She's only in her mid-60s. Okay? Now, I have some extraordinary individuals, so I didn't want to just come up here and just talk. So I brought some students of mine who went on, they graduated from Hartford schools. And they're leaders now in their community. So, and they took time out this morning to come here. So Janicia, for example, she worked third shift last night. Third shift. She was here at 9:40. And I remember her, when she was in high school, she was 15 years old, she came up to me, and I was a teacher at Weaver High School at the time. She said, Mr. Oh, she's my car. She said to me, Mr. Booker, you know what, can I come to your classroom? Because I love to read. I want to make sure I go to college. When she was 15. And now she's getting ready to graduate from Central. So Janice, please give a round of applause because I want you to take it.
Hi everybody, my name is Janicia.
Good evening, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. Please have your attention. Graciela, please come to the front desk. Graciela, please come to the front desk. Thank you.
That was weird. Yes, thanks, Mr. Booker. I'm a senior at Central, major in criminology with a minor in psychology. Mr. Booker invited me here last minute. Had to throw you under the bus. To talk about importance of voting. Voting is very important because it was a time where there was slavery, where African American people couldn't do anything but serve white people. Then after slavery there was segregation. Segregation, we had to deal with our own people, own color. Then it was women's suffrage rights in the 1920s, where women couldn't vote at all. After that, it was black suffrage, which Mr. Booker will be speaking to you guys later on about. And during that came together was white supremacists. And in order to vote, you had to take a literacy test. Could be from learning how to read, write, math, and so on. And if you didn't pass that, you still couldn't you still couldn't vote. Then in 1965, that became abolished and people were able to vote. I feel like voting is very important because you have a say-so in who you want. You listen to politicians and leaders and they're explaining to you guys what they want to do for you guys. Not all the time is going to be correct, because you can't really undo what a previous successor has, because it's very hard to do so. Some of it they can do, but it's not that important. Like a lot of people during this election, a lot of people were very mad because Trump won, and you can't get mad because if you didn't go vote, then you kind of don't have a say-so in what happens. And yes, he should have never won president, but at the same time, you got to get out there and vote. Voting is very important because you have a say-so in who you want. And not only election is important, but your democratic, like who runs the House, is more important than the president election, because the House is what can pass laws and put everything into effect. Not only is that important, but your local politicians are important too, because you go to them when you're having issues. If a pod's in the road, if you feel like something educational should be brought to the attention, you go speak to those leaders, and they're supposed to have your back. So when you become of age, you should get out there and vote. I think my first election was when Obama came in office. I wasn't a registered voter at the time, but the lines downtown City Hartford, not like right there, City Hall, was really packed out the door and everything. And I had a friend that was in the military, thank God for him. And I was in and out for 5 minutes just because I had a military person with me to vote. That's how much the election means to a lot of people when Obama came in office. Lines were packed. They even made it so elderly people or disabled people can get out there and vote. They made it so people come to their homes and vote. So overall, I think when you get of age, figure out, what do you want? What do you want your kids to have? What do you want to get out in life? But voting is the way to go. That's only how your voice is going to be heard. Thank you.
You know, like a few years ago, one of my students said to me, he said, Mr. Booker, your network is your net worth. He said, he's 17 years old, he said this. He said, your network is your net what? Worth. He's at Harvard University now. What is her name? Who said it? Jonicia Woodward. Your network is your what? Net worth. Okay? Remember that. Okay, we'll come back to that. All right? Now, Maman Cooper. Maman Cooper was my student at UConn. And now Maman, at 23 years old, is a teacher at Covenant Prep. And she grew up here. Okay? So, Maman, I know you got a few words and you got to get going, but please, give her a round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. Well, thank you all for being here, and also thank you for having me. I know it's early in the morning, and it's a Saturday, and typically we're not up this early, but thank you everybody for being here. Well, I migrated to the United States at the age of 11 in 2004, and I'm not a citizen, so a lot of times I can't vote. But when I was at UConn, I served as president of NAACP chapter at the university campus for a couple of years, and it's always been a big passion of mine to have other students register to vote, to have other students, even if you can't vote, go out there, try to rally all your friends to vote, right? If there was a party in the neighborhood and you wanted to go, you want all your homies to go with you. If there was an event, right, or barbecue, you want all your friends and family to go with you. So for me, when it comes to voting, is this idea of even if you don't want to share your own voice, you have to at least feel the obligation to share voices of other people. People make policies every single day. You know, I studied political science in college, and a lot of the times, taking some of those classes, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is how our lives get run all the time. You know, people say, you know, I'm not interested in politics, it's not my cup of tea. But what we don't realize all the time is whether you're interested in politics or not, people are still going to make the decisions for you. And how many of you like people to tell you what to do, where to go, when to do it? Raise your hand. If you like to be told what to do, when to do it, how to do it, etc. No one? How many of you like to have the liberty to actually choose what you want to do for yourself? Right. So when you decide that you're not going to vote, right, or participate, you are giving people out there who have no idea about your lives, people who have no idea about your experiences, people who have no idea about your ambitions. When you choose to sit in the back and not do anything about voting, you're pretty much telling them, I trust you enough to not know me, but also make a decision for me, right? So when it's great that right now you're all trying to learn the process. Because a lot of the time, people just go, okay, voting is something I have to do, and we have all these different candidates, and you don't even take the time to learn about the candidates, and you go and vote because your parents said so, or because your friend said so, or because this person had a fly outfit last week. So now you feel like, okay, I completely, relate to that person. But voting is not just the idea of going out there and casting a ballot, right? You have to do your research of, okay, who is running, what are their interests, right? And a lot of times people will tell you, yes, I want to do this, that, and this. But you need to also pay attention to their actions and also look at how this person have always, in the past, what are some things that they've actually been passionate about? What are some things that they've said? Because I know Donald Trump won, Hillary Clinton, I was not a big fan either, right? Because this is someone who, for the longest, saw black males as, predators, right? She always had issues with African Americans, right? So we're predators. So at the end of the day, we're not always going to agree with people, number one. And secondly, don't let people to come in your face and tell you, oh yes, I have your best interest in mind. Because people put up the front to get your vote. Your votes have to be some of the most precious, it has to be the most precious thing in your life. I know some of us, we have phones, we love our phones. We don't go anywhere without our phones. We get up in the morning, we have to scroll. In the same way, we have to treat our voting rights as equally important as our own lives, because our vote really is our lives, right? And we have a lot of people in our communities who, as I've mentioned, they can't vote. Like, I can't really vote for the most part. So when voting time comes, I go out there and I try to register people to vote. And a lot of times people go, I don't want to get involved in this. I don't feel like standing in line. The electoral college made a decision. I don't care about this. It doesn't matter to me. And I go, well, I'm an immigrant. There's some policies that matter to me. There's some policies that matter to people in my communities. And if you are not putting your voice out there, nobody will. Homelessness, for example, that's something that bothers me a lot of time. Homelessness, people don't really talk about that much, because there are not that much homeless people who actually can go out there and cast a ballot, right? They can really put their voice out there. So we need to be voices for ourselves, the people in our communities, right? And not people that just look like us or we represent, we can relate to. But also the people who may not necessarily feel that you relate to, we have to be the voice for those people and the people who may not know about. And also for our children, I know we're young, but it's not that far along, right? Like someone like Bridget, she, at 6 years old, is now voting, but she was putting her voice out there somehow, some way. So I'm just, gonna leave you with this. I applaud you all for your courage of actually trying this. And it's not gonna be easy, because I hope you're not just gonna cast a ballot, but you also be involved as a, citizen of your city. But I hope you'll go beyond just casting a ballot as well. Thank you.
What's her name? Maman. What's her last name? Say it again. What's your name? Maman Cooper. Your network is your what? Worth. Okay? So we're going to do a quick exercise, because we got some exercise to do in here, because this is public speaking. Please give them another round of applause, though. And give yourselves a round of applause for being here this morning. All right? And I just want to say it's an honor to be among all of you today. All right? And I hope one day we all get a chance to work together as well, so we can create change. Because that's what this is all about. Because you see, my mom and I, we work together. I'm going to her school on Monday. Now remember, she was my what? Student. And she called me, and now we're working together. We're on the phone, hey, Mr. Booker, yep, okay, we gotta get these kids, yep. And she was like your age when I had her. But you see how it works? So that's why I said, it's gonna be an honor to what? Work with you what? One day. Because that's how it works. I'm just empowering you, giving you some gems, and you're going to do the same thing to other people as well. All right? So let's have some fun, okay? All right. A lot of you in here, do you know each other? Yeah, but somewhat, right? But not really completely, right? All right, so you see the sticky notes that you have in front of each other right now? All right, I want you to think about, first question on one of the sticky notes, how would a stranger describe you? Okay, how would a stranger describe you? That's the first question there. Okay? So someone who has never met you, how would they describe you? Okay?
Like, we have a conversation with them?
No.
Or just like looking at
Just looking at you. How would they describe you? How would a stranger describe you? That's the first question on your first sticky note in front of you. Second question. How would your friends and family describe you? Wow, some of you like really thinking about this. I see the wheels turning in your head. How would your friends and family describe you? Okay? And the last question. How do you want to be seen? How do you want to be seen? Okay, then I'm going to do a quick recap of those questions again. First question was, how would a stranger describe you? Someone who doesn't even know you. Someone's looking at you walking down the street. How would they describe you? Okay? Second one, how would your friends and family describe you? And the last one is what? How would you want to what? Be what? Seen. Okay? And then we're going to go around. And each one of you will answer those questions. Okay? All right. Lamont, I'll start with you since you can lead it off.
Okay. The one that I struggle with is how do I see myself? So,
Mhm.
I'll leave that last. Stranger would describe me as confident. My friends and family would describe me as I can't stay still because I'm always doing something around the neighborhood. How I see myself? Work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see myself.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Give a round of applause. All right. One thing I definitely have to say is that whenever someone speaks, right, we're going to encourage each other. You know why? Because we deal with a lot of negative energy every day. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're in school, you know, like when I was talking about the backpack and you're carrying your backpack, right? It's all that negative energy we deal with every day. So what we have to do in here as leaders, we have to encourage each other to continue on. Okay, because this is difficult. All right, you ready?
My friends and family would describe me as nice, and I would like to be seen as helpful,
Oh, awesome.
and a stranger was
You don't know. I know. Thank you. What do we do? Awesome. Okay.
My family sees me as extra. A stranger would see me as different, and friends and family would see me.
As what?
I would see myself as nice.
As nice? Oh, okay. Awesome.
For the first one, I said that a stranger would see me as younger than I look, because, I mean, I actually have gotten that before. But also, maybe intelligent. I don't know if it's because of the glasses or not, but it is what it is. My friends and family see me as wise, funny, and a self-made man, because I take a lot of my mom teaches me a lot of good life lessons I'm going to need for the future.
That's awesome.
And I kind of see myself where I want myself to be seen as clever, smart, creative, a self-made man like my mom always tells me I am, and also very productive, like I like to get work done.
Okay. Thank you.
People think of me like really quiet because I don't talk much. My family sees me as loud and energetic. Like when I'm not around people, when I'm around people I know, like I'm comfortable.
All right.
And then I like to be seen as like a nice person that's not stuck up because sometimes people think I'm rude.
Interesting. Thank you.
For strangers, I really don't know.
You don't know?
For family, I put loud.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I'm around family, I'm like really loud. And I see myself as
Because
brave.
you're comfortable, right? Yeah.
And I see myself as brave.
Thank you very much.
For a stranger, they probably think I'm like quiet and attitudinal. And for friends and family, they probably think I'm weird.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. But I want to be seen as funny and smart.
Funny and smart?
Yep.
Okay.
For a stranger, I don't know. For my friends and family, I put stubborn and strong. And I would like to see myself I see myself as smart and independent.
That's right. Number one fan, right? Mm-hmm.
People see me as athletic because I'm pretty tall
Mm-hmm.
and relaxed. And my friends see me as energetic and like wise because I tell them everything. And my family describes me probably as like chill when I'm like around like my cousins and stuff. But when I'm with like my like first family, I'm like energetic. And I see myself as athletic, smart, and like creative.
Awesome. How many seconds do you think you have to make an impression? If you had to just guess right now, like just an estimate.
3 seconds.
How much?
3 seconds.
That's right. That's 3 to 7 seconds before someone files you and put you in the cabinet, in your mind, Before their committee starts talking to them and saying, okay, yeah, this person, I put them right here with this group. I put them in here with this group. It's 3 to 7 seconds. So for example, if she didn't read my bio and everything, right, in the beginning, what would you think of me when I walked in? Businessman, right? Where do you think I probably grew up and all that? Windsor, right? You never thought I grew up in the north end of Hartford. Never thought my parents were 17 years old when they had me. My father was on drugs and all that. None of that stuff, right? No. You know, none of those kind of issues, right? But that's what I'm talking about. It's 3 to what? 7 seconds to make an impression. And there's 7.5 billion people on this planet, and only 1% of the population can speak publicly. That's it. So you remember when I talked about being in this box right here, right? Right? You already are blessed to be in here because you have a gift. Not many people can do what you do. So that's what we're going to tap into today, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a listening activity, okay? And this is when you're going to come up here to the podium with it, okay? All right? We're going to do a couple of these activities today, okay? So it's 8 of you in here, all right? So the interviewing activity, and you have an index card in front of you, okay? And then we're going to go over. So the way this is going to work, all right? I want you to pick someone in this room and sit next to someone in this room you do not know. Okay? Leave the index cards aside, put them aside. Okay, we don't want to use those yet. That's for the last step. Okay? Alright. So I want you to pick a partner. Pick a partner you can sit next to. I'm going to give you 15 seconds. 14. If you don't know the person beside you. 12, 11, 10, 9. Pick someone that you do not know in this room. 8, 7. Move around, move around, move around. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay? Now what I want you to do, I want you to turn around to the person you're sitting next to. Okay? Because like Ruby Bridges, be comfortable being what? Uncomfortable. Be comfortable being what? Uncomfortable. So what I want you guys to do right now, I want you to face the person you're sitting next to, right? All right? And I'm going to call you off. So remember your letter. A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. Okay? And I got adults in the room too, so you can participate as well. Okay, you can come right over here and you two can interview each other. And you're A and you're a B. Awesome. So the way this works, my A's, you're the reporter. You're asking the questions first. Okay, so your sheet of paper that you have in front of you, you're gonna write down the answers. So the first one is like, what is your name, okay? You'll write down, you're the reporter, you're writing everything down. Then after that, B, it's all about you. Yeah, you know, when I was in 2nd grade, trust me, everybody knew I don't even want to go with it. So you go all into that, right? And then after 3 minutes, I'll say, switch, then the roles switch. Okay? So your job as you're writing these things down is to what? Make sure you what? Listen attentively. Okay? So Mr. Timer's telling me, begin.
What is your name?
A's are interviewing, B's are interviewee. 25 more seconds. Switch.
Where did you go in elementary school?
To JFK and Clover Street. They're two.
Where did you go to elementary?
Who do you admire?
Wilt Chamberlain, because he was the best basketball player.
What?
They say Wilt.
Who do you admire?
He was the greatest.
I like her music because she's really like rich person. I don't know. I just like the sounds. Okay, I'll just
Who is your favorite artist?
Who's your favorite artist?
Probably Ugly God. Because he's funny.
Time's up. Okay. All right. Now, with your index card that you have in front of you, I want you to tell us 5 things besides the person's name that you learned about this person that you interviewed. 5 things besides their name. Bless you. Yeah. 5 things you would like us to know about. Bless you.
About me?
Yeah, about the person you interviewed. Besides their name. 5 things.
5 things?
5 things that you would like us to know about the person you interviewed. Besides their what? Their name. Let's see if you were really listening. 5. still watch a lot of cartoons. All right? So I'm gonna go in Transformer mode, and then I'm just gonna pick someone randomly. All right? Then you're gonna come up here, and you say, okay, I'll just say like my name. I'll say, you say who you are, right? You say, hello everyone, or how are you guys doing? My name is Kevin Booker. I interviewed Maman Cooper. And these are before, so when you come up here with your index card, Mr. Booker's gonna be over here on the side, and you hand me your index card. Oh my gosh. So then I'll take your index card, and you come right here, and you tell us the 5 things you learned about the person. So then while you're saying the 5 things, I'm over here, my fingers on 1, 2, 3, 4. If you get to 4 and you're like, I can't really remember it, just at the end, just say, thank you. Without the flashcard. I told you at the beginning, what did I say? This is a what kind of activity?
Listening.
Listening. It deals with public speaking. Trust me. We're going to tie all this in. Okay? Here we go. I know. See, just because you laugh, you got to go. All right. Here we go. Thank you. Awesome.
Hello everyone, my name is Erin Johnson, and I interviewed Raven Keynes, and 5 things I learned about her was, she wants to be an engineer. Well, she wants to be in the engineering field, and I remember that because I want to be an engineer too. She went to MLK, and I went to MLK. What else? Oh yeah, she admires her mom because her mom is a strong woman. She likes science because she likes bio and chemistry, and I don't know the last one.
What do you say then? What do you say?
See you later.
No, not see you later. You gotta stay professional. What do you say?
Thank you.
All right, awesome. All right, stay right here 1 second. Okay? Oh, come right back over here. Okay? Remember, even in speaking, does anyone know about her? About who she interviewed? No. Does anyone know anything what you're supposed to say?
No.
No. So you can just at the end, you make sure you say thank you. Now body language. What did you notice about her body language when she was standing up here? I'm just you're the first one, so. She was comfortable, right? What else? Go ahead. You had something to say. No? No.
She had a great smile.
She had a great smile, which is awesome, right? Okay. What else did we notice?
She seemed, I'm very grateful. She seemed a little uncertain or nervous.
Yeah. And those are some things we're going to work on. Okay? But awesome job. Give her another round of applause. Okay? Awesome. All right. Let's go. Rock and roll. Encourage. All right. Awesome. Okay, what do I need you to do before you start speaking? Oh, jeez, you are. How many seconds? 3 to what?
7.
You got it. All right. Awesome.
My name is Roy, and I interviewed Kalia.
Yep.
One thing about Kalia is that she has 2 siblings, and her favorite subject is math and science. And her elementary school is Rawson. And her mom, she admires her mom because she's always there no matter what.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. All right. Here we go. All right. Come on, you got it. Awesome. You got this. Confidence.
Hi, everyone. My name is Harmony, and I interviewed Zaid. His favorite subject is social studies. His favorite grade was 3rd grade because he thought the teacher really liked him a lot. He has 3 siblings. Thank you.
You got it. All right. Awesome. You got this. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Give him another round of applause. Pump him up. All right. many people on this planet?
7.5.
Approximately 7.5 billion, right? And how many people can speak publicly? 1%. Only 1%. You see? So we got to encourage each other. Okay, this is a challenge. Okay, let's go.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kamari Thornton, and today I interviewed Amber Rose. Amber Mendez. I'm sorry about that.
Sorry.
Okay,
I know Kanye. I know. You have a flashback. Wiz Khalifa took your girl. I know, man. It's tough.
Okay, that aside, 5 things about Amber are that she really likes science. That's one of her favorite subjects. She also admires Whitney Houston because she likes her music and stuff. She kind of got in trouble in 4th grade, but she still had fun. It was a bit of a silly period for her, but she had fun nonetheless. She has 3 siblings, which I myself can relate to. And I apologize. I think that might be it. Thank you.
Awesome. Wait. Excuse me. Great job. Give him another round of applause. And a moment there with Amber Rose there. All right, here we go. All right, thank you. All right. You got it.
Hi, my name's Kalia, and I interviewed Roy, and his favorite subject is math, and his favorite artist is A Boogie, and he went to UHMS, and I know it. Just hold on, I'm thinking. Yeah, thank you.
You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. You ready? Let's do it. All right.
Hello, my name is Zaid, and I interviewed Harmony. I interviewed Harmony. Her favorite artist is Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
She wants to make a difference in this world. Her favorite subject is history. And that's it.
Thank you. There we go. All right. No hiding over there in the corner. All right. Give her a round of applause. She got this. Awesome. You got this. All right.
I interviewed Erin, and one of her weaknesses is that she is, she's easily motivated. She's easily influenced, and one of her strengths is that she's a hard worker, and her favorite subject is English, and she sees herself in 5 years at college, and thank you.
Do I even need to go into Transformer mode, Megatron, Optimus Prime right now? All right, let's give her a round of applause. Woo!
Hi, my name is Amber. I interviewed Kamari. His favorite subject is art because he really thinks he's creative. He has 3 siblings, which I can also relate to because I also have 3 siblings. Thank you.
There we go. Awesome. All right. Now what I want to know, what did you learn from this activity? What did you learn from this activity? Go ahead. To listen. Now why is that important? To learn. Okay. What else did you learn from this activity?
I learned that you shouldn't tell people when you're done, or when you forget something, you should just cut it off.
Cut it off, right? But it's a transition. We're gonna work on that. That's smooth transition, how to do it, right? Okay. And what else did you learn about like presentational skills?
Without a script or anything, it's kind of hard.
It's kind of hard. Well, I'm gonna hear your word too. Because go ahead, say it again.
Without a script or any kind of notes to guide you along the way, it is pretty difficult.
Especially if you haven't what? Begins with a P. Practice. Okay, that's right. Okay, give me something else, because I want to hear what you got to say.
It's hard to remember.
It's hard to remember, right?
If you don't really read it that much.
That's right. That's right. So that's one of the reasons why I had you do it this way in the beginning, so you can see. Now, we're going to go into a quick, small little lecture, because of timing, on public speaking. What are some of the elements of public speaking? Okay, so I need you to take out a sheet of paper, and this needs to go in your notes. Okay? So I'm going to break down the basics to you of the principles of public speaking, and why it's, and what should you look for. Yeah.
You're going to tell us about prep. Prep.
Prep?
Yeah, that's what the man told me about public speaking.
Yes,
Prep.
that's correct. Practice and preparation. Well, yeah. Okay. The P's. We're going to get into that too. All right. So, no, we're going to get into exactly what public speaking is. What should you look for? Okay. But because we have such a small session today, all right, we're going to get into some of the basics, some of the things I'm going to be looking for when I come back in June. Okay. So I want you to start thinking about some of these things here. All right. So a speech. I don't want to complicate anything for any of you in here, because this is just the basic fundamentals of public speaking here. Now, before you start writing, can people get paid to be a speechwriter?
No.
Raise your hand if you think they can get paid to be a speechwriter. Okay. All right. Who said no? And that's fine if you don't believe it. All right. How much money can you get paid to be a speechwriter?
A lot.
What's a lot?
$1 million.
Some people do.
You can get paid like $700 for a school.
Speechwriter. Writing speeches.
It depends on the lot.
It depends who you do it for.
Depends on who you do it for, right? And depends on, say what? How good you are. Some speechwriters make between $30,000 to $100,000 for each speech.
Each speech.
Each speech. Right? And they have what they call, and then you're learning this now, which is like dynamic. This is why writing and English skills are so important. Okay? So, 30 to what? $100,000 per speech. Okay? And they have an organization called the Public Speaking Bureau. Okay? Now when people join these bureaus, right, what happens? You end up networking, right? Which becomes part of your net what? Worth. So you need to work on your skills, your craft. All right? So what we're here to do today is talk a little bit about a speech. All right? How many seconds do you have to make an impression when you get up to this podium? When you walk up to 3 to 7 seconds. Because people are like following you away. This is what we do as humans, right? We judge, right? So if somebody's looking at your legs and, you know, they're looking around, how you just coasting. You notice I took people's hands out of their pockets because we get distracted. That's how we are as humans, right? And you're looking down, maybe your tie, or your shirt, or your blouse is all like, you know, different colors. Maybe you got a stain on there. We're focused on that. That's that 3 to 7 seconds. So what I want to know is, how do you think a speech is written? It's written like a what? Begins with an E. So who said it? Right, it's written like a what? Essay. You need to have an introduction. You need to have a body. And you need to have a what? Conclusion. Okay? Now, in a speech, Aristotle, 3,000 years ago, he said a speech is an invention. Now, why did he call a speech an invention? Why did he say that?
Because you'll never know what they're about to say. Because you'll never know what they're about to say.
You never know what they're about to say, right? And what else? Why else would he say a speech is an invention? Because they wrote it, right? How many people on this planet? Approximately what? 7.5 billion, right? You know what's interesting about when it comes to science? None of us have the same fingerprints. None of us, out of 7.5 billion people, roughly, right? So that means when you look at a speech, everyone, if I gave all of you the same topic, right? The speech would be completely different, each speech. Because your experiences in life is different. So a speech is a what? It's an invention. You create your own speech. You see? You deliver it. You have control of how you want your speech to go. So what do you think are some of the principles people look for when they deliver a speech? Like elements. Yeah, like, no, confidence is one, right? What else?
Tone of voice.
Tone of voice, write that down. That's number one. That's one of the first most important elements. Tone of voice. Why is your tone important? And I just want you to think about when you got in trouble. Because I always talk about my mom. This is how I always know when to make sure I'm like, okay? Go ahead.
Your tone of voice communicates how you feel about a given topic. So if you talk with conviction about a certain topic, like, this is something that we need to do as people, as a community. We need to do better. We need to do this. We need to do that to improve our community, or something like that.
Right.
Something to that effect. You have to really hit them with how you speak. That's with your tone of voice.
Absolutely. So if you came up, and I don't know, because you're doing a PSA in here, right? On television. And you're just like, well, you know, we really need to work on voting rights and change the system. How are people going to take that? They're going to ignore it, right? And how do you take teachers in your classroom if they're really passive sometimes when they're like reprimanding you for something that happened in class? Do you sit there and go, oh, this is a really strict teacher? No. Am I right or wrong? Because what's missing? They're what? Their tone. You don't think they're serious enough, right? And that's what we do. We're constantly reading body language. What's another one? It starts with you said it, tone and hand gestures. Hand movement. You can put that down, hand gestures. The reason why this guy named Adolf Hitler was such a dynamic speaker was because of his hand gestures. If you look at it, and I'll show you a clip, hopefully we can get a projection here. When he would give a speech, he would actually use his hand movements. And because of his hand movements, it made people believe in him even more. Because he was saying that, what does this mean, like when he's moving his hands this way? He's pointing at people and saying, he's building up their confidence, saying this is what we're going to do as a collective. So you're commanding that room. You're showing them that I'm in charge and this is what we're going to do as a collective. Okay? Hand gestures. What's another one? Body language, right? But there's something else that comes along with
Posture.
Posture. Okay, that's the next element. Why is posture important? So if someone came, like I see some speakers do this, right? They come in, and because this is what I do, I critique, right? So I'm sitting there, and they come to the podium like, yeah, how you guys doing today? You know, we're out here, and then we're gonna do this, and we gotta make these things happen. What does that say to you as you're sitting there and you're observing that speaker?
They're not taking it seriously.
They're not taking it seriously. What else? Same thing. What else? What else does it say? And then they like hanging down here. Legs are like lazy. You think they're kind of lazy too, right? They probably don't want to be here. So think about that. So when you're up here or when you're doing your PSA, you got to think about how do you want people to perceive you? How do you want people to perceive you when you're in front of that camera? When you have to do this in a few more weeks. So that's something that you always got to remember too when you're delivering. How do you want others to perceive you? Okay? So another part. We said posture, hand gestures, right? Movement, tone. What's another one? Eye contact. Let me give you a prime example. Stand up for a minute, please. How many seconds do you have to make an impression? 3 to 7. 3 to 7 seconds. All my years of teaching, I have students and they do this, and I always grade my students in the first week of school, right? I have them lined up before they come in my class. Even my college students, I do that. My college students, these are like people in their 20s and late teens, and I'll go, how you doing today? Before they enter my class, they gotta shake my hand. What's the next step?
Introduce yourself.
Introduce yourself, right? We know that, right? And what else? Eye contact, right? People, this never fails. They go, hi, Mr. Booker, how you doing today? I'm not God. You know, I'm not, and I always do, in my head, I tell them this. I go, and I'm not God, we're equals. We're equals. The only thing is, my space shuttle arrived a little bit earlier than yours. So I got some wisdom. That's all it is. My space shuttle just arrived a little bit earlier than yours. But, so I just want to give you some wisdom. That's it. But we're what? We're equals. And you, when you're delivering a speech, that's what it is. You're talking to everyone because you're on the same page. Eye contact is important, and it also builds credibility. I'm not gonna pick with you anymore. Good, give him a round of applause. All right, awesome. What's the next one? Last one is facial expressions. And it goes right back to, what's your last name, sir?
Thornton, T-H-O-R.
Mr. Thornton. Okay. Why do I call him by his last name? It's respectful, but what else? Why else do I call him by his last name? That's his last name. How old are you now, Mr. Thornton?
17.
17. 10 years from now, how old is he going to be? Well, him and I could be working together. So that's why I call him Mr. Thornton. Because 10 years from now, he's 27 years old. If he's an activist in his movement, and I know I'm going to be still in the trenches, we're going to be working together. So he's going to say, hey, Mr. Thornton, hey, Mr. Booker, how you guys doing? What's going on? And we're molding the next generation. Did you see how that works?
Yeah.
That's why I call him Mr. Thornton. Okay, it's out of respect, but also I'm recognizing him as an equal. Okay. Next step, introduction. How do you start your speech off? Did anyone you know? I'm gonna give you guys 7 ways to start a speech. What are some of the 7 ways to start a speech? Huh? Say what?
Good morning.
You can do it that way, right? But that's just like when you begin the speech. Like, what should be in that introduction? What should be in the body, and what should be in the conclusion?
Oh, the topics you're about to talk about?
Okay, but how can you get their attention right away? Because it's 3 to 7 seconds before people tune out, right? You ever think about like a commercial, right? Go ahead.
You need a hook.
A hook, right? You always need a hook. Because think about it, your favorite song. Think of one of your favorite songs right now. Someone give me one of their favorite songs. Huh?
My favorite songs don't have hooks.
They don't have hooks. Who's one of your favorite artists? A Boogie, right? What's the new song that he just came out with? It has a hook right now. It has a hook, because all my students sing it around school.
Who's the song?
Hmm? If you're an A Boogie fan, you just dropped it, you just put it online. And it has a hook.
I forgot the name of it.
I know. But doesn't it have a hook?
Yes. Yes, it does.
It does. And that's your favorite artist. And everyone's playing it through the hallway right now, and they only sing in the chorus line. And what is that called?
A hook.
It's a hook, right? So in speeches, when you give a speech, right, you have to have, I'm going to give you 7 ways. I need you guys to write this down. 7 ways to start a speech. You can start a speech off with a quote. You can start off with a what-if scenario. You can start off with an imagined scenario, like imagine jumping out of like a skydiving plane and discovering your parachute doesn't work. Something that you just picturing for everyone to listen to. You can start off with a question. Or you can start off with a story, a personal story. Question. A personal story. I'm gonna give you a prime example. You know, when I was in high school, I really wanted to go out. When I was 16 years old, I got my driver's license, and my mother said to me, "You can borrow my car." And I said, "I could borrow your car, right?" And she was like, "Yeah." So my dad came to me, he said, I know you want to go on a date, right? But you make sure you're home by 10 o'clock, right? And my mother looks at me and she goes, yeah, make sure you get home by 10 o'clock. So she, she winks at me, right? And I go, okay. And then, so my mom says, all right, have a good time, go to the movies. So I get home and I follow the guidelines, but I end up running into some traffic, right? And I get home around like 10:25. See how right now you're listening? You see how it brought you right in? Start off with a what? A personal what? Story. Can't tell you what happened after that, but. Yeah, that was personal, but I still remember 16. Start off with a personal story. Humor. Humor is another one. But humor is based on your audience. Okay? So if you know your audience, you can start off with like a joke. But you have to make sure it connects to your audience. Another thing as a speaker, and I'm going to make sure you guys understand this, is more importantly, whenever you give a speech, make sure you know your audience. So if you're speaking to peers, then you know. You're speaking to some people who are older or younger, like you have to go speak to third graders. You think your speech would be a little different? Yes. Absolutely. And then even third graders are looking at you going, this is the first thing everyone does. They go, is this person credible? It's the first thing we do as humans. They're looking at you, even third graders. Are they lying? Are they telling the truth? Now think about it. If little kids do that, what do you think your age and older are doing? They're doing what? Same thing. So when you get up there, you make sure you really believe in what you're saying. Because people can see right through it. Okay? So those are some ways to start off. Give me the first one. What's the first one we said?
A quote.
A quote. What's the second one?
What if scenario?
A what if scenario. What's the third one?
Imagine scenario.
Imagine scenario. Okay, what's the fourth one? Question. Okay, what's the fifth one? Story. Personal story. What's the sixth one? Humor. And the seventh one is a startling statement. Statement. Okay? And a startling statement is, I remember when I was in graduate school, okay? And when I was in graduate school, I gave this speech on 9/11, right? And I was so upset reading these articles, and I was doing all this research, and I was like, man, these people are like really racist, right? And like some of the stuff that was going on, they were dragging Muslims out of cars, taxi cabs in New York City. This happened. And they were beating people up. So I got up and my professor said, Kevin, you want to give a speech? I said, you really want me to give this speech? And I said, you really want me to give this speech? I want to give the speech, but I'm going to have my facts. Because in your body, you make sure you repeat, you got 3 main points. So I was ready. In my conclusion, I was ready to summarize my main points, right? So I get up there and I said, I start off with a startling statement. I said, patriotism is a form of racism. And everyone in the class was like, oh my God. And I had the flag up there and I was so all upset about how they were treating immigrants and other people who were, not from this country and coming to this country and helping people out. And I was like, and they were just like, no, I can't believe he's tackling this issue. But I started and everyone understood. So at the end of my speech, they knew what I was talking about. Patriotism is a form of what? Racism. So I was saying you're being patriotic about all these things going on, but you're also attacking people on the other end too. Is that really being American? And that was really my whole argument there. You see? So when you make a statement, make sure you back it up. And that goes into your body, your 3 main points. Your body needs to include your 3 main points, just like an essay. And then your conclusion. All right? So make sure that part is in there. All right. Last part, because I'm making sure we still have some more time here. In your conclusion, write this down. Consider ending your speech with an additional quotation or question that captures the theme of your speech. Yep. Consider ending your speech with an additional quotation or question that captures the theme of your speech. Use trigger phrases such as in conclusion or in summary to prepare your audience for the end of your speech. You didn't know that part. Write your conclusion at the same time as the introduction. Okay? So you can remember exactly where your main points are. All right? And we'll go over that part too as well. So that the introduction and conclusion complements each other. All right? So the next step I want to cover with you guys is, Mama, can you pass this out for me, please? Thank you very much. How many of you know some of the people? So I need 2 volunteers to read. Why do you think I have you reading this particular article, these 2 paragraphs? Why? How does this connect to public speaking and everything? Yeah? Why do you think I have you reading this?
So your voice can be strong.
Say what?
So your voice can be strong.
And how does it help your voice, like how will your voice become stronger?
You're being more comfortable and confident.
Confident. How do you build confidence on your subject? Practicing. And what's the most important when you get up to a podium? You need to make sure you know your what? Facts. Because what's going to happen is, remember I said people want to know if you're what? Credible. So when you're sitting there and you're at the podium, right? And you're giving your spiel, they want to make sure you know what you're talking about. So when we look at this case here, I'm going over this really fast, really quick with you guys. We're gonna make sure we understand why we're in this room today, even more. Okay. So the first paragraph. Can someone read it for me?
This act refers to the 15th Amendment to the Constitution was signed into law 95 years.
Hey, can you do me a favor, please? Since you're reading, can you stand up? Yeah. Absolutely.
This act to enforce the 15th Amendment to the Constitution was signed into law 95 years after the amendment was ratified. In those years, African Americans in the South faced tremendous obstacles to voting, including poll taxes, literacy tests, and other bureaucratic restrictions to deny them that right to vote. They also risked harassment, intimidation, economic reprisals, and physical violence when they tried to register or vote.
Stop right there. What does that mean to you as an activist, as an advocate for voting rights?
They didn't want African Americans to do anything at all.
Okay, right there. Okay, so you summarize that part there. Second paragraph. Now, stand up. Look at the camera when you speak. Go right there. Go right there and look at the camera. Matter of fact, come right here. Come right here to the podium. Yeah. And read that second paragraph.
In 1964, numerous.
There we go.
In 1964, numerous demonstrations were held, and considerable violence that brought renewed attention to the issue of voting rights. The murder of voting rights activists in Mississippi and the attack by state troopers on peaceful marchers in Selma, Alabama. Gained national attention and persuaded President Johnson and Congress to initiate meaningful and effective national voting rights legislation. The combination of public revulsion to the violence and Johnson's political skills stimulated Congress to pass the voting rights bill on August 5th, 1964.
And I want to say thank you very much. Give a round of applause, please. Okay. Awesome. Okay, now, layman's terms. Somebody in this room, one of my scholars in this room, what does that mean? layman's terms, what does that mean? Why are we here? Why do we have to get up here to this podium and build our confidence up so we can speak out against this kind of stuff? Why?
Because not even that long ago, you want me to stand up?
Come on, please, come on. Why are we here?
Because
come on here. Why are we here? And talk while you're walking. Let us know.
That's because not even long ago from where we are, like literally only a few decades ago, a lot of people that look just like us did not even have the rights to just simply vote and see who could run their country. And that's why we're here, because this is something that we weren't allowed to do simply because we were different, simply because we weren't the same as everyone else or the majority that live in this country. That's why we're here. That's why we need to speak out against this, because we can't have this live on to today.
So, Mr. Thornton.
Oh, yes.
How can we get people more active? Is there any way, Mr. Thornton, that we can get people more active?
We need to convince them that voting is a seriously important thing to do. Because
Mr. Thornton, are you serious?
Yes, it is. It's a serious thing that we need to do. In my class, I read about Malcolm X's speech, "The Ballot or the Bullet." You either, when it comes to voting, you'll either have to vote for someone who has your best interest at heart, or you'll vote for someone who will probably be the deputy, or whatever it may be.
Let's give him a round of applause. That's what I'm talking about. Wait. Now we gotta go to equal. One, here we go. Oh, sorry. When I go 1, 2, 3, salute, that's equal. That means we're equals, all right? 1, 2, 3, salute. Awesome. Let's rock and roll. All right, here we go. All right. Now we gotta switch it in again. We gotta do a couple more exercises and everything, okay? This is right here. This is what I'm talking about. Challenging yourself. Understanding why you're sitting here. Why are you here? Okay? This is not wasting your time on a Saturday. That's the reason why I'm addressing these issues like that. Because I want you to always remember there's a reason why you're in this room right now. There's a reason. Okay? And people need you. Okay? They need you. All right? So what we're going to do, we're going to work on our skills a little bit. But there's a project, so the next time you see me, you have to memorize this poem. Yeah. Huh? So you got to memorize this poem when you see me. Now I'm going to show you something, how this poem will stick with you for the rest of your life. Okay? My mom Cooper, you had me as a teacher. And you had me maybe 7, 8 years ago? 9 years ago? Somewhere around there? You're a sophomore in high school like some of these people in this room right now, some of these students. Excuses, my mom. Can you recite that for me, please? And she hasn't done it in years. Excuses.
Excuses are the tools of the incompetent, which creates a monument of nothingness. And those who specialize in the use of those tools amount to
seldom amount to
it's been years. Seldom amount to anything.
That's correct. Okay. You see that? Now, Mama, why do I have to memorize this poem?
It's actually interesting because I think it was last year, 2 years ago, I went to Mr. Booker and I go, that's weird. I was just thinking of that poem last week. And a lot of time when I get into a place where I'm trying to make excuse for stuff, it comes like excuses. And I don't know why it does that. But when you actually remember this poem, which I don't remember all the words because it's been a lot of years, but this idea of you make so many excuses that you start settling for less. So it really truly resonated with you. I have to take it very serious.
She said, stop settling for what? Less. So what I'm going to do is when I come in class sometime here, right? I'll say excuses. So let's go over this really quick because I want you. It's a short poem. Excuses. You guys say it with me. Excuses. I'm gonna tell you just like they tell me in my Spanish class right now. Okay, my Spanish teacher. I take class on Thursdays, right? I'm making sure I perfect my Spanish. So she always says, Kevin, look at the words, right? So I want you to really look at these words so you can embody these words, okay? Because whenever you feel like quitting or you feel like, I don't know if I can get up here to this podium, I want you to say, excuses, excuses, excuses. Because you don't make excuses for yourself. You're destined to be great. Did you hear that? You're destined to be what? Great. So when we talk about a few of these people that we're going to talk about in a little while that you see here, one day somebody's going to be reading about you. Okay, you ready? Excuses, excuses, excuses. Louder. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Come on. We got this. We got this. Yeah, we got this. Excuses, excuses, excuses. Excuses are the
tools of the incompetent, which create monuments of nothingness. And those who specialize in the use of these tools seldom amount to anything.
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 All right, let's say it again with confidence. Okay, you ready? Loud, project. This projection is very important with speaking. Ready?
Excuses, excuses, excuses. Excuses are tools of the incompetent, which create monuments of nothingness. And those who specialize in the use of these tools seldom amount to anything.
Okay, I notice there's a word that people are stumbling on. Say it again. Say that first sentence for me.
Excuses are the tools of the incompetent.
Yep. Excuses are the tools of the incompetent. Okay? Just slow it down. Okay? You can do it. That's all it's about. There's nothing you can't say or pronounce. Just slow it down and work on it. This takes practice. All right? There's nothing you cannot do. All right, you ready? Let's do it again. One last time. Then we're going to move to the next exercise.
Excuses, excuses, excuses. Excuses are the tools of the incompetent, which create monuments